You're listening to the Higher Grade Help Podcast, tips and strategies for service providers. This podcast is designed to help service providers build strong teams and grow their businesses. Hosted by me, workforce development industry expert Sina Martin, each episode will cover a range of topics related to hiring and team building in the service industry. From finding top talent to conducting effective interviews, this podcast will provide insights and strategies to help service providers hire and retain the best team members. If you're looking to grow your business through effective hiring and team building, this podcast is for you. Hey. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Sina Martin, and we're going to go ahead and let me go ahead and make sure everything, okay, we're good. So if you want to learn how to create a vision for your team, then today's Lunch and Learn or today's episode is going to be for you. Your job as a leader is to inspire your team to achieve great things, and the clear vision is an essential tool for achieving this. So I'm going to dig into how to do this. That's our topic for today's, I'm calling this a Lunch and Learn. So hopefully you had your lunch or you had a healthy meal sometime today. So far, you're taking care of yourself as well as running your business and leading your team. And make sure that you grab your notes, grab your pens, because I have some good information that I want to talk to you about today in regards to how to create a clear vision for your team. So if you're new, my name is Sina Martin. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I'm a team operations coach. I'm a workforce development strategist. And all around, I'm a business expert that focuses on building amazing companies through the power of people by leveraging the right individuals in your team, in your workforce, and within your business ecosystem. So if that's something that is of interest to you, and you're someone who you are either new to leading people or you're new to building a team, maybe you work in like a corporate space, or you've had positions before where you were quote unquote working in like a managerial or a leadership role, and you had other people who reported to you or worked under you, but it's your first time ever doing this for yourself, like within your own company or your own organization, then this conversation I think will be very beneficial to you. And a lot of the content and topics that I talk about in my podcast, Higher Grade Help Podcast, within my different, videos and things like that within the community I have, Solopreneur to CEO Society, all of this is geared towards making you a better leader of the people that are helping you in your business. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And let me just kick this off by saying this. I have a new ebook that I'm putting the finishing touches on getting edited, and I'm super excited because I haven't put out an ebook in, oh gosh, it's been like 6 years since the last time I actually released and wrote an ebook. So this one, I put a lot of time into it. Anyway, I want you to know about it. It's called Rise Up: Effective Workforce Management for Startups. And this book is like, when I tell you, it's the thing I wish I had. It's like the bread and butter of what I wish I had when I started hiring people for my team and when I started building my own workforce for my company. So if you want practical tips and strategies for managing and motivating your team to achieve success in your business, and you want to make sure that you are giving them effective feedback, and you want to understand how to encourage them to manage their day-to-day schedules and all of the things it really takes to not micromanage, but empower people who are working for you, this ebook is like the blueprint on how to do it front to back. I don't leave anything out. So there's a link or website around this video or around this episode if you're listening to this on the podcast somewhere. So check the show notes or check the description. But go ahead and pre-order that ebook. Put your name on the pre-order list, and you'll be able to pre-order the ebook so that you can get the first chapter before the rest of the general public. And I'll make sure that you get a couple of bonuses too for being one of the first readers. I can't wait for you to read it and give me your feedback and let me know what you think. So just wanted to let you know about that. I'm super excited to for that release. So let's talk about the first step to creating a clear vision for your team. The first step is defining a clear vision. The first thing is this. Like I mentioned, this is really for you if you are one or two categories. If you're brand new to leading people, like you've had a company, you are serving anywhere from, and when I say serving, I mean you're providing services, literally providing services to anywhere from maybe 10 to a few hundred clients. You're in that space where you want to scale, you want to take it to the next level, and you're new to leading people who are going to help you achieve that growth goal. Okay, so if you're in that space, then I'm talking to you. Okay, the first step to empowering people to help you achieve your growth goals in your business is you have to create a clear vision for the entire team. And I wanted to talk about this because this is something that has come up repeatedly over, I'll say, the last 2 years of me running my core program, Exponential Experience. Over the last couple of years in that program, that's the program where we take business owners from beginning to end and take them from the process of the beginning all the way to the end of developing operations, processes, SOPs, and really a vision for their team so that their team can replace them as the primary service provider. Okay, in their thing that they're selling that's bringing in the most revenue. So whatever your best seller is, your particular service, you could be literally any service provider. So I'll give you a couple examples. We've had nurses, we've had healthcare professionals, we've had maternal mental health specialists, we've had tax professionals, CFOs. Just think of the service industry, any service you're providing, right? What we do is we help you to begin to train your particular team. And when I say team, it could be a small team, it could be a team of less than 10 people. We've worked with teams all the way up to people that have 20 or more people on their team, all the way up into the hundreds of people who are on their team. So just team could mean one individual or hundreds, right? Obviously there's different approaches depending on how big it is, but nevertheless, it's what we do is we'll help you to, and we have helped dozens and dozens of service providers begin to teach their team members how to replace them in the actual delivery of the service, right? So within that, what I've noticed over the years of us doing this work is that one of the most difficult things for new leaders, right? That's what I'll call it, new leaders. One of the most difficult things for new leaders when you are leading people who are helping you accomplish a specific goal, a specific vision. One of the things that is the biggest struggle for people who are in that space is that sometimes it's hard to translate the passion you have for the work you do or for the service you provide to those other individuals, to your team members, right? And because you don't know how to fully communicate or translate the vision to them, you worry that they don't have the same passion as you, that they won't be as loyal to your clients. All of that, you know, thinking comes up and you become concerned and worried about it. And it's because you haven't created a clear vision for them. So when I say that we're focusing on creating a clear vision, what you're doing is you're communicating this and making sure that they fully understand that the people who are helping you, the people who are front facing and helping your clients as a representative of you, as a representative of your brand, of your business, that they understand intrinsically what the vision is for where the business is going. That's the first thing. And then they also have to understand the vision of how you want clients to feel, what you want them to experience, and then what tangibles you want them to take away or what you want them to have as a result of them working with your company or within your service or within the work that you do. They have to get it, right? So let's talk about this. First step to do this. First way to do this is define a clear vision, which I've had up here for a minute. Defining a clear vision. You know why it's important to make a plan for your team's purpose, your team's values, and the goals, because I just shared it to you. You're listening to this. You're listening to this so you understand the importance of it. Defining that clear vision, it tells you where you need to go as a company. Because remember, your company should at this point be existing outside of you. It has its own identity, it has its own, like social security number. It has its own entity. So it should be existing outside of you. It's not you. It's not your vision, your goals, right? It's the goals and the vision for the company, for the entity. So when your team understands that, it tells all of you where you need to go as a company, and it makes sure you all are moving on one accord. That's key. That's pivotal. The other thing is it sets up a career plan for your workers. So for the people that are working for you, they see that there's room to grow. They see that this is somewhere that I will want to work long term because I have a career plan here now. There's opportunity for me to go somewhere with this. And if you don't not communicating the vision to them can leave that to the imagination, and then that's not something you want, because a lot of a lot of professionals who are in the workforce right now, they're searching out fulfillment in their careers. People aren't solely going to careers for compensation and benefits and all of that. They want to make sure that there's growth opportunity, that there's a path here. So you need to communicate the vision so that you can allow the vision to set up the career plan for them, for your workers, right? That's another reason. Also, it helps you explain the 3 C's all at once. This is why you want to define a clear vision. It helps you explain your 3 C's all at once, which is what your core is as a company, your core, your community, the importance of your community, how you want to treat your community, what the results are from being a part of the community, and then cash flow. How are you cash flowing as a company? All of that is communicated when you properly define a clear vision for your team. So let's go over the main points of a good vision. Let's go over the main points of a good vision and how you can make and share it in a straightforward way with your team. Keep in mind, I've helped lots. At this point, we've worked with over 450 service-based businesses to date since beginning this company 9 years ago. I've helped lots of our clients figure out a clear vision for their teams without using complicated words. And today I'm going to tell you how to do it too. Okay. So let's explore examples of successful vision statements from top companies. Let's look at this. Look at Ted, right? Ted's vision statement is clear cut. Ted's vision statement is spread ideas. Simple, to the point. That communicates everything their team needs to know about their purpose for their existence as a company. Our goal is to spread ideas. That's Ted's vision statement. Let's look at Nike. Nike's is do everything possible to expand human potential. Okay? Do everything possible to expand human potential. It's another good example. That communicates clearly what is your purpose for existing. Why are we coming to work every day? To do the work that we do. Right? Let's look at Higher Great Helps. Higher Great Helps vision statement is to end time poverty and entrepreneurial overwhelm. That's why we exist. We exist because we want to help our clients end time poverty. Make sure that you can buy back and gain back your free time for your health, your well being, your family, your loved ones, your children, and to end entrepreneurial overwhelm. So you accomplish that by being an entrepreneur who leverages the power of a team and a workforce and having people working for you in a healthy culture. Our vision statement is very simple: end time poverty and entrepreneurial overwhelm. So we are looking at these examples. There are five things that make up a there are five things that make up a crystal clear vision statement. Okay? Five things. And those three examples I just gave you, let me know if each of those Let me know if each of those examples I just gave you, if they embody these 5 things that I'm about to share with you. Okay? Here's the 5 things that make up a crystal clear vision statement. It's empathy. Empathy is the first thing, right? Empathy is a hot commodity right now, but more than a hot commodity, it's and the reason I call it a hot commodity is because every company wants to put empathy into the way that they communicate with their clients. There is no business out there that doesn't want to communicate it. However, sometimes it's not genuine. So your vision statement should communicate genuine empathy. You have to have thought out why you want to help these people and who exactly you're helping. So empathy is the first thing. A 5 to 10 year goal. Okay, remember these are the 5 things that make up a crystal clear vision statement. Empathy, a 5 to 10 year goal. You should write these down. Write these down in your notebook. Inspiration, that's number 3. Connection and the world impact upon achievement. Okay, those are the 5 things. I think TED or TEDx does a very good job of um, bringing all 5 of those points together in their vision statement, which is only 2 words, which is just to spread ideas. That's a really good example. All of that is communicated in those 2 words. So that's what I want you to think about. What's the vision statement for your organization? And then tell me this too in the comments. Have you shared your company vision with your team before? Why or why not? Why or why not? Think about that. And then take those 5 things I just mentioned to you, and I want you to come up with your own vision statement if you don't have one already for your business, for your company. Okay. So let's go to the second point. The second point, or should I say, the second tip to creating a clear vision for your team. The second tip is to communicate your vision effectively. Communicate your vision effectively. I shared in the beginning of this why that matters, why it's so important. What happens when you don't do that. I'm gonna tell you a story really quickly before I go into this tip. So in the early, and when I say early stages of my business, I mean we'll say the first 3 to 5 years, which is a lot of times that's still it's like your toddler phase. That's the best way to describe it, because each of us takes a different length of time to figure out where we best fit, and at the same time where we best disrupt in the marketplace, right? Each of us take our own amount of time to do that. So I can say within my first 3 to 5 years of being in business, now that I'm looking back on it, and we're going into we just crossed over our 9 years, which I can't believe, of being in business. So within that first like 3 to 5 year period, I did not do a good job of communicating my vision effectively to the people that were working on my team. And I had all types of different people. I had interns, I had virtual assistants, I had contractors. At some point, I had family members. So there was a lot of different people over the years, volunteers. A lot of times, a lot of different types of team members had come through um, my company over in the beginning, right, in those toddler years. But one thing I can say honestly, looking back on it, is that I did not communicate my vision effectively. I did not create a clear vision for them, and because of that, what would typically happen is in the beginning, it was honeymoon phase. We were in bliss. We had a new team. Every time I hired someone new, it was a new team member. We were excited because someone new was coming on board. But we would get a month into the project, 2 months into the role, and essentially the person would um start to retreat and when I say retreat, I mean literally pulling away from the commonality and a common agreement we had in the beginning of it. I'll give you an example. This one individual who I had bought on, we worked together for the first, I'd say really the first year. And she was amazing, efficient. She was fast. She was getting things done on time. But what I noticed is that as time went on and we got into like that second year phase, that she started to get really comfortable, and she started retreating to her own beliefs about how things should be done and how things should be run. And it was not aligned with the vision I had for the company. And the truth of the matter is, I don't even know that I had a crystal clear vision for the company at that time. It was still new and it was ever evolving. And truthfully, in the beginning, I was just trying to do work that was going to leave an impact on the individuals that were my clients. I wanted to help them increase their income. I wanted to help them have a business that was going to improve the quality of life for them, for their families, for their kids. I just wanted to leave an impact, right? But I also wanted to change my own financial situation. You all know the story. If you don't know the story, you're brand new. I was a teen mom. I started my business out of um someone else's home that we were temporarily kind of staying in during, being homeless. So I wanted to change my own financial situation. So I didn't even have a long-term vision for the company. It was just something I was passionate about, but I was trying to do it to change my immediate circumstances. I really didn't see 10 years into the 5 years into the future. So because of that, I didn't communicate it to her. And then we started, you ever hear that scripture, can two walk together unless they agree? That is an accurate statement. I can attest to it because it has happened to me time and time and time again. And then you have to reevaluate who you are walking with and where you are disagreeing to see if things can be rectified or if you need to go your separate ways. And that's what happened with this individual. She was with us for a couple of years, and then it came to a point where I had to let her go. But the reason was she just did not align with the vision. And that was on me in the beginning because I did not define it. I did not communicate it. She didn't know, how I want my client. You ever on my clients, how serious we take um your success. Like the quality of service that we provide. If you've ever been one of our clients, if I've ever done a workshop with your organization, if you've ever, hired hire great help to come in and help you hire someone, you understand, the level of service we provide. And I didn't communicate that, so it was lost when my team member was answering emails or when she got in client facing projects. It would crumble. But that was on me. So I say all that to say, to bring it back to the second point, you have to communicate your vision effectively, because when you don't, that is when things begin to fall apart in regards to the client experience, or how you're represented, or how you are perceived in the marketplace, right? Your brand, your business, your company. And then you always hear that black women aren't allowed, don't have the luxury of making a mistake. I have my own feelings about that. I understand why it's said. I can see tons of instances where that has been true for hundreds of years. However, and comma, that don't have to be a reality if you don't want to subscribe to it. We're human. My thing is, if you make a mistake publicly, be a leader, right? Be a leader and talk about or show how you learn and how you innovate based upon what you learned from that mistake. So I made the mistake, like I said, of not communicating my vision effectively. And yes, it did affect um, my clients in a way, right? Sometimes they got emails that was not in my voice, in my tone, right? Things did fall through the cracks. We did pitch podcasts that we never, or pitch shows that we never, or pitched opportunities that we never heard back from because the email wasn't in the proper tone, or wasn't, you get what I'm saying, right? So yeah, things have happened, opportunities have been lost, contracts, money has been lost, but each of it each event, I should say, was a learning opportunity. And it's something that made us better. And I bounced back from it significantly because now my team is where it's at now. This team is amazing. So I'm glad I went through those mistakes, and I'm glad I publicly went through those mistakes, because now I know how to communicate my vision effectively to my team. And now I can come and tell you what each the pros and cons of doing it or not doing it, what the result is if you aren't afraid of making those mistakes. And I'm harping on this a little bit right here because this is a part where um this is a piece where I'm going into this in depth in the book, first of all. So, pre-order the ebook if you want to get into the nitty gritty of this. But this is a piece where I feel like it holds us back as entrepreneurs, as business owners and CEOs. We can't be afraid to make mistakes because of some social um rule that nobody asked for, that nobody subscribed to, right? That none of us subscribe to this. You can't make a mistake because you're fill in the blank of, however you identify. That's I want to say, it's bullshit. It is. It's bullshit. So that's not what we're doing. And the other thing, let me say this before I go into, how to communicate your vision effectively. I just want to touch on this because I know this is a roadblock. This is a roadblock for many of you, and it was for me. It used to be a roadblock for me as well. So that's why I want to talk about this a little bit. But the other thing is, that was my lesson from not communicating effectively for my team member. And then the other piece about being okay with making mistakes forward facing is, people want to see, and you also as a leader want to show that you are human. You're going to mess up. You're going to drop the ball. You're going to hire people. You're going to have people on your team. Let me not say hire, but you're going to have people on your team who misspell words once in a while, right? I know even if your standards are top notch, that's fine. But everybody makes mistakes. We cannot be afraid to, I'm not saying allow sloppiness, or I'm not saying to allow, low quality or bad quality work to pass through your desk and let that become the norm. Absolutely not. Of course not. But what I am saying is, we can't be afraid to make a mistake as a leader, because not only are our clients watching, and the audience you've built, not only are they watching, but your team's watching too. So what's the message they get if they feel like you are the perfectionist and you won't allow yourself to mess up or make mistakes, or you are afraid of letting people see your mistakes for whatever reason? What's the message they get? That hinders them and puts a muzzle over their mouth, because they feel like they can't come to you to voice when they've messed up on something, or voice their concerns or worries about anything that comes up in the workspace, because you've set the culture of no mistakes allowed. So, and this is a conversation we were just having with my teenager, with our son. Me and my husband were just having this conversation with Prince, with our oldest son. You have to be okay with making mistakes, because that's how you learn, that's how you grow, and more importantly, that's how you innovate faster. When you mess up and you bounce back, you fall and you get up, you fall and you get up. You don't try to not fall. You get what I'm saying? So hopefully you took something from that. Drop a like. Yes, I got it. See, drop a Y in the comments if you took something from that. Um, and if that was useful for you. So let's talk about the second tip, which is communicating your vision effectively. Now, I told you what happens when you don't do it. Let's talk about the importance of actually doing this, and let's talk about, beyond the importance of doing it, how you actually do this. So here's an idea I have for how to share your vision with your team. Simple. Make it exciting. Make it exciting. You could put together a quick slideshow. You could hold a staff meeting and give some updates. And if you have done this, more power to you. At least you're taking the effort to, share this with them. But we've all seen that. Like, we've seen the slideshows, we've seen the staff meetings, and the more the one of the ways to share company vision that I highly enjoy as someone who has gone to who has gone to a retreat. We just came back from a retreat over the summer is you can hold a company retreat where you share the vision with your team and you everyone comes out to like a location. You guys do like a mini, you know, 2 or 3 day event somewhere, some beautiful location. And that could be a way you share your company vision too. But if you don't have the ability to do all of that, make it exciting. No matter which format you choose, make sure your presentation has what I call the it factor. Or I'm sorry, not your presentation. Make sure that you, the vision you're communicating, right, has the it factor. Okay. I would do something fun. I would do something out the box. Like my type of event to share my company vision with my team is what did we do before? One time we had an event where everyone had to like share what their favorite dish was or their favorite food. So we made, and this was during, I think this was during pandemic time, so we did it virtual, but I would have did it in person. Like, let's do a weekend team trip, retreat, whatever. Everybody cooks their favorite. What's your absolute favorite number one dish? Bring your favorite dish. Let's all have, a nice dinner. Everyone bring their favorite type of drink, whether it's alcoholic or non-alcoholic, whatever. And, let's bond that way. I like to do fun that's not really out the box, but, fun, thoughtful, um, things that are going to help us connect on a human level. Like, let's connect around this vision. Let's talk through it. Let's discuss it. I always tell my team, I want to hear your thoughts. They hear that from me 100 times a week because I do. I want to hear what you're thinking. So make sure whatever way you're going to do it, whatever way you're going to communicate this vision to your team, it has to be exciting. Do something that's out the box and do something that's going to encourage that connection. Okay, so these are the things that I call the it factor. So there are 4 parts to the it factor. There are 4 parts to the it factor. There's hear it, see it, mirror it, and do it. Okay? Hear it, see it, mirror it, and do it. Okay? And then, so let's do this. Right? Hear it. I'm just repeating it. See it, mirror it, and do it. You want to make sure that you include all 4 of those pieces, all 4 of those parts when you're communicating this vision effectively. Why? Because I'm going to tell you why. Your team could sit back, you know, your team could sit back at home, chilling, cameras off, not paying any attention to what you're saying, or they are paying attention to what you're saying, but they got the phone going over here, the TV's over there, the kids are running in the background and thinking about what to do for dinner. They're busy like you. Yeah, because they're human. Yeah, I keep saying that, right? They could do that. They could watch your presentation, or they could, pack up a bag and go on a 3-day trip to the mountains and have a great time and do all of that and never actually walk away with understanding what the vision of the company is. It was just a good time, or it was just another slideshow, it was another PowerPoint to look at for the day. So you want to avoid just sharing more information. You want to avoid information overload and make sure that when you're communicating the vision with your team, you are modeling it. I'm going to get into this in a second. To explain the company vision well, you need to show them what you mean. Write that down. To explain the company vision well, you need to show them what you mean. Don't just say it, show it. You've heard this before. Kids don't do what they're told, they do what they see. Right? Now, I'm not calling your team kids. It's the same as an analogy, I guess you could say, or it's the same psychology. They're going to do it if they see it. So you want to make sure that you are explaining it and then you're also showing them what you mean. Yeah. So this is what I mean by hear it. They're going to hear it at the presentation, at the company retreat, on the call. They'll hear it. Then they should see you doing it. They should see you walking the vision. If you say, Our company vision is to double the engagement of our double the amount of conversations we're having with our clients every single month. We want to engage them in the community. We want to text message them. We want to hear back from them through the email. We want to have more communication with them to make sure that they are actively getting the value from our service. You could say it. The team heard you say it. But now they see you in the chat, right? Communicating back and forth with clients. If they see clients emailing in and writing in, asking questions, and you're responding to them, now they see you doing it. Oh, okay, got it. So what happens after the team sees it? It's the next part of the it factor. They're going to start mirroring it. Remember, this is how you're going to communicate your vision effectively. They'll start mirroring it, copying what you're doing. They're going to mirror what you do. So that turns into doing it. Now everyone on the team is synced up and in the same on the same page, and you're walking together accordingly. So that's what I mean by the it factor. Hear it, see it, mirror it, do it. Once you've accomplished that, stand back so that your team members can understand this new idea, because your vision should be fresh. It should be a stretch goal. It should be exciting. It should be a fresh idea. Stand back so that they can understand the new idea by copying your leadership. They should be copying the way you lead. You are the root. Every part of this tree branch is going to branch out from you. This is why I talk about what type of leader are you? Like, what type of leadership are you portraying? That's really, really, really important. Because if your leadership is condescending, if it's not portraying the morals that you want the people who work within your or within your ecosystem to model, then you're setting yourself up for failure from the beginning. You want to be the type of leader that you want your people to be, because they're going to mirror what you do. So a couple of extra points I want to, or let me add in a few tips here um to spruce up and add some extra like oomph to your to how you communicate your vision. So we talked about the most important thing. That first part I just mentioned, that's the most important. So do that. Now here's a couple of other things you could do to add some extra spice on top to spruce it up. Storytelling is very essential to explaining a vision to anyone, right? Talk about the pros and cons, similar to what I did in the beginning of this episode, of walking in your vision as a team or as a company and not walking in the vision. What's the pro of you all embodying this new vision for the company and living it out? What's the impact it's going to leave on the people around you, on your community, on your, not just your customers, but the people that your customers come in contact with? Good customer service puts smiles on people's faces, right? So if you are creating a vision where you are leaving each customer with a smile on their face after an interaction with you, or each client has a new experience to refer back to when they think about the life-changing service that you provide to them, now what happens? Now they can spread that to the people around them. So talk about the pros and cons. Paint the picture for your team. Use storytelling to explain the vision. Another thing, be open as the leader. I talked about this, earlier in this episode, but be open as a leader. Be transparent. Be willing to share. Because again, what you do, they're going to mirror it. What you don't do, they're going to mirror it. So just keep that in mind. No pressure. Then think about this. What do you want customers to feel when they use your service, or when they interact with your brand? Or if you have products as a service-based businesses, your products. What do you want customers or clients to feel? What do you want them to experience? Why do they need or want it? That should be communicated in how you all are moving as a unit. Your team is one. Y'all should be moving with the same voice, the same mindset, the same vision, the same level of effort. Y'all should be moving on one accord. And then lastly, show your team their work affect. Show your team how this is a big one. Show your team how their work affects customers in the long run. And I keep saying customers, but you might call it clients, whatever you call the people that come and patronize your business. Show your team how their work is going to affect those people in the long run, your clients. This is big. That one right there. If you do that in the it factor, you can't go wrong. You can't fail at all. That's the one where we had a client we worked with, I guess about a year and a half ago, and this was one of the things that was missing from the team. The individuals who were running they had a group program that they were releasing, and they were in like the health and wellness space, and their community managers and coaches didn't really understand like how their work affected clients in the long run. So when we broke it all down and helped them to understand that, it was a game change. It was the thing that started to empower the community members to be more engaged, to have more conversations, to be more transparent, to ask questions that uncovered what they were really struggling with mentally. It was the missing factor to the engagement inside of the group, inside of the community. So if you're like, why can't I get my clients to talk to us more? Why can't I, what's going on where, they don't feel comfortable enough opening up or expressing themselves? Or you feel like there's a disconnect between your I don't want to say workers, but your team members and your clients or your customers, chances are your team doesn't understand how their work affects your clients in the long run. So if you close that gap, that's going to be the game change. I'm telling you, game change. So try it. So put a 2 in the comments if that makes sense. I know we've been on here for a while, so I might have to do like a part 2 to this. I might have to do a part 2 to this, which I think I will, because it's still a couple more points that I want to cover. So we'll do a part 2. This will be part 1. 2 more things I want to share around this before we wrap up. Before I move on to this next thing, if you want to learn more about communicating your vision effectively, then make sure you click the link in my description box or in the show notes and or the comment section below, because I have a new ebook that we are about to launch out soon that will dive deeper on how to guarantee your team has the same concern for your clients as you do. Right? This ebook will walk you through practical, like what I just said, practical, actionable strategies for building a strong team, setting clear expectations, empowering team members, and most importantly, providing regular feedback and recognition. So if you struggle with any of those things, pre-order the ebook now. Go pre-order it. You'll get the first chapter for free. And with the insights and advice in this book, and I put a lot of insight and a lot of good advice in this book, you can create a positive work culture that will drive the growth of your business. So go ahead and pre-order that ebook now. Make sure that you click the link in my description box or in the show notes in the comment section below to do that. So now with that out of the way, let's move on to this last tip, or the next tip, I should say, not the last one, but on the next tip, on how to create a clear vision for your team. And then we're going to make this a part 2. So this video doesn't go, or so this episode doesn't go over too long. Next thing I wanted to share, after you've developed your vision, you've defined your clear vision, you've used those examples of successful vision statements that I shared with you, and you're ready to communicate this effectively to your team, use visuals to help your team understand and remember, right? So it doesn't just have to be a presentation or slides. You could use stories, like I mentioned, with props. You could do a team day out where you go to a location, like go to a an establishment, a restaurant, a museum, an aquarium. Go somewhere where you could use that environment if you want to make it like a historical thing, and tie your vision back to some part of history, and that brings out the passion for why you're doing the work you're doing. Like make it an experience. Everything should be memorable through the visuals that you share and through the experience. So use those visuals to help your team understand and remember your vision. The items that you share with them, it should show that you all are that they, the team members, are champions of your client's success, or they're your client's biggest cheerleaders. Those are the two things: champions of success or the client's cheerleaders. If you can effectively do this, you will have no problem with your team understanding the vision for the company. It'll be no problem whatsoever. So I'm gonna stop right here. If there's any drop it in the comments below. I don't see any right now. But if you have any questions about this, or about this topic, like, drop it in the comments section, because what I'll do is I'll come back. We'll do a part two to this. And in part two, we're going to talk about maintaining that clear vision that you just developed. And we'll talk about common mistakes to avoid when crafting your vision. We'll come back and we'll do those two. So this will be a part one and a part two episode. But if there's any question that popped up for you as you were going through this, or you developed a vision and you want some like feedback on it, drop that in the comment section, and I will address it and do like a little mini Q&A for part two. If we get enough questions in, then I will go ahead and do a Q&A, a part two to this. So drop yours. You never know, I might pull it up and answer it on the podcast. I might answer it in the next live stream. But we're definitely going to do a part two to this. So let me know what your thoughts was, if this was helpful to you. And I can't wait to see the vision that you develop for your team, for your company, and can't wait to see your name come through as someone who's getting their copy of the Rise Up ebook first. So I'll keep an eye out for that. Go create a clear vision for your team. One of your top priorities for this quarter. Do that before everything else. I promise you, it will make a drastic impact on the growth of your business. So if you enjoyed this, share this video out. Make sure you subscribe to the show, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.